Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. I'm your host, Dillon. Today, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming craft fair and opening farm stand weekend this weekend. It's going to be one heck of a time. Last year was amazing. We had over 400 locals come on out and support us and the local vendors, so we're looking forward to another productive opening weekend. Also going to be covering our first chicken butcher day, the ins, the outs, and how that went. Spring update, what's not in the ground and should be. And egg tracker keeps on tracking. That thing is ticking away. We make a lot of eggs here. That's what's coming up on the SGF. Stay tuned. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. It's been a week. It's been 2 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. We're busy. It's tough to sit down and just chit-chat by myself these days. But the show must go on, and I know a lot of you have been asking, hey, where's the podcast at? Hey, listen, it's coming. It's coming. So I think I'll start with a little recap on Chicken Day, our first chicken dispatching day, dispatching, processing, butchering, however you want to call it, whatever makes you feel good, was a week ago. What the heck were those days? May 5th and 6th. Yep. Cinco de Mayo and the day after. We did something different this year. We have a lot more chickens to process, so we need more hands. And we had to change our setup, change out some of the equipment, upgrade a few things, because we're just trying to do it as efficiently and as clean as we can. So we moved the butchering process, the actual, the killing, the scalding, and the plucking to outside of the garage underneath, it's open to the air, but it's underneath the canopy where I process and we package inside. By process, I mean eviscerate. By eviscerate, I mean take the feet, the neck, and the innards off and out of the chicken. So I just want a little bit more separation from the killing to the packaging, The killing's always been outside of the packaging room, but it was a little closer. Now it's like outside, around the corner, down the hill. No, it's not that far away, but you know what I'm saying. And, perfectly imperfect, it rained both days. So good thing I set that canopy up. Kyle and Bruce, you guys did a great job on the killing, scalding, and plucking process. Bruce is not a seasoned chicken killing veteran. This was his second time ever taking a chicken's life. And I don't even know if he did the killing. I don't think so. I think it was Kyle. But yeah, it was good. They work great together. It's always a roll of the dice. You get a lot of new people working together, trying to do something. Most of the time, we don't really ever have issues with personalities conflicting because, it's not like a job. We're all just here to do a job. It's not like I'm your boss or anything, or someone's got seniority. I don't run it like that on Chicken Day. It's not like that on Chicken Day. We all are just trying to slog through it and get it done. So Kyle and Bruce were my outside guys. They did a great job. And then inside we had Chef Kim. She was helping me eviscerate or clean up the birds. Cassidy, of course, Farmer Cass. Shout out to Cass. She's had one hell of a week. Last week she had appendicitis out of nowhere, as it usually happens. And it's just been a little bit of a whirlwind trying to get back to normal. But I'll have her on a show coming up. And we'll get the ins and outs of that story because it was crazy, guys. It was crazy. I'm so happy she's okay. You don't expect that kind of last minute, got to cut you open stuff, so it was weird. Emotional. Anyway, so Chicken Day, we had Chef Kim, Cassidy. We also had Bruce's wife, Samantha. Shout out to Samantha. Shout out to Chef Kim. Shout out to Cassidy. Shout out to Nikki. Nikki helped us. Our new friend Nikki, and Alyssa. Alyssa helped out too. Alyssa's been getting our flock share now a couple seasons, and she wanted to be part of the process in exchange for some chicken. So, and that's kind of how we run it. We kind of trade you chicken or farm credit in exchange for your labor. And we try not to keep you more than 4 or 5 hours. And we were spot on. So let's get into some details here. The only thing I really upgraded for the killing process was I added another cone. Okay, a cone is the vessel you put the chicken in alive, where you do the process. So one extra cone really did speed up the process, believe it or not. And having 2 people that worked really well together on that station, actually those are three independent jobs, but kind of I group them as one station. Because it could actually be run by one person. The killing, the plucking, and the scalding all could be done by one person. And I think in the future it probably will be one person doing all that once our equipment's a little bit more efficient and it's not so laborious, one would say. So that went really well. Added an extra cone, and what we also did is we did flock share pickup all on Monday, which meant all the birds were whole, easy to package, quicker to package. And what else changes, Farmer Cass started with us around 4 in the morning. She couldn't sleep anymore, and you can hear us from down below doing what we're doing, so it's probably tough to sleep with that going on anyway. So she joined us early, so she started doing the packaging process early, and we did 250 birds that day, whole birds, in the span of about 6 hours. We killed the first one around 4:30 in the morning. We were done, packaged, and in the freezers by 11:30. I still had some cleanup to do, of course, pressure wash, bleach, sterilize, all that, yum. But it went really well. Probably one of our best times and most efficient days, given we had a downpour the whole time. So the guys working outside were a little challenged by the weather. And new faces, new people that have never done the process, but it's so, I think, intuitive because it's agriculture. I think agriculture is intuitive to most people. Most people just don't tap into it. But once you start doing it, you understand a lot more. You understand a lot of things. But, I took right to it. I know a lot of people that just planted a seed and became farmers. It just takes that. Got some chickens, became farmers. I'm one of those. That's just how it goes. So I think that once people see the process, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. It's clean. It's not that messy when it comes down to packaging. There's no blood. There's no guts. There's no, I do all that. It all happens before it gets to packaging, obviously. Chef Kim, she's obviously a seasoned veteran. She's, I don't know if she's butchered before, but she has processed whole animals from carcass down to cut. So, from carcass to cut. I like that. Yes. I'm going to write that down real quick. From carcass to cut. It might be a little crude. Carcass. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to write it down. From carcass to cuts. We have the meat. Arby's. No. Anyway, all right, I wrote that down. Anyway, so chicken day went well. Packaging was good. Everything was good. Didn't squeeze in a nap. Wanted to. Now, if you've listened to the show before, we've talked about flock share day before. So for those of you who know, sorry, but for those of you who don't, this is how it works. You buy into the flock share. You pick those birds up the same day that they're processed. Okay, we offer a discount for doing so and for buying a quantity. Now, you don't get the discount until you buy at least 5. And newsflash, you have to buy at least 5 in order to be in the program. Last year, we were allowing people to take less than 5 at a time, but buy 5 for the season, so they'd come out once a month and get a chicken. Yeah, we can't do that anymore. It just doesn't make a lot of sense for us to sit around, and especially the flakes, because there's a lot of them. I know people have things going on, and sometimes I don't send out 2 reminders. I'll send out 1. It's still a week in advance, give or take. And it just doesn't get to people. I mean, we had about 5 people not show up. Some of them had legitimate excuses, don't get me wrong. Funerals, childbirths, house closings, those are all good reasons to, reschedule with us. What's not is I forgot or I was on vacation, and it just, it just happens. We're forgotten. People are really forgetting their own health because you forget. If you forget, we sell your bird. We were going to do a restocking fee, but I hate restocking fees. I hate if I get charged one, so I didn't really want to charge one. But we had to find a way to make it make sense for those who failed to honor the agreement. And by the agreement, I mean when you sign up for the flock share, you're saying, I will be there on flock share day to pick up my birds in order to achieve the discounted price. Boom. That's it. The second you don't, those birds are gone. You got to get in the next month's batch. Sorry. We had to do something. Now, if I mess up or we have a clerical error, okay, fine. We'll make good. But you can't. We just couldn't keep doing this like, oh, I forgot. Can I come out, Wednesday morning at 9:48? That's when I drop off so-and-so at the... No, you can come out during the allotted hours. And most people do. Please understand. I am not complaining. I am simply saying we had to make some changes this year. I didn't want to do a restocking fee. I think that's robbery. But there had to be some kind of consequence. So if you don't show up and you don't communicate with us, you don't get any birds that month. Now, you can buy them off our menu or out of our stand, but you're going to pay full price. Sorry. It's just the way we had to run it this season. Also, found out yesterday I won an auction for an ice machine. Cha-ching! And it was cheaper than normal. I desperately needed an ice machine for Chicken Day. I was buying bags of ice, and that sucks. So now, we don't have to do that. I'll have an ice machine ready to go. I think this is a 200-pounder, like it makes 200 pounds at a time. That sounds like a lot of ice, but not when you're processing animals. That's like nothing. So, yeah, Chicken Day went well. And then that was Monday, flock share. That was great. And then Tuesday is not flock share. It was less birds, about 110 birds we had to process that day. And those were all cuts. We turned every one of those into cuts pretty much. And we seal and meal them, we clean them. It's very, they look very professional. Right now in the state of Connecticut, it's kind of a gray area with chicken cuts. There's nothing really on the state website that indicates you can't do them. Okay, cut them up, sell them. As long as you don't sell retail and you don't sell to restaurants and you don't sell like wholesale to another farm that's going to sell them, or you can't sell at a market in this state. It's so crazy. I can butcher a chicken on my property and sell it to you, right? You come buy it, come and pick it up, whatever. But I can't process that chicken and take it to a local farmer's market and sell it. Totally illegal. Riddle me that. And you know what we're noticing here in the quiet corner of Connecticut is I'm seeing a lot of farmers are getting out of the chicken game. They're just not doing it. And the reason is it's not cost effective because the slaughterhouse gouges. You know who you are. You gouge farmers to get their chicken processed, okay? Especially because I know what it takes and I see how fast you guys do 500. It's crazy what you guys are charging. So farmers are dropping out. And so I wish they would just pick up the ball and process themselves just like we're doing. And they would see the demand. I think that's the other thing. A lot of farms are not seeing. America runs on chicken. Price and participation may vary. A limited time offer. Not coffee. Okay, yeah, we all love coffee. But we all need chicken. All right? We just have this insatiable appetite for these little birds. And it's not going anywhere. It just isn't. Chicken's going to get cleaner. Our chickens are pasture raised with local grains. It's a different product. 100%. I had someone come in my stand who raises broilers or used to raise broilers, and he goes, "Oh, those are some tiny birds, huh?" I said, well, when you don't keep them in a confined area and not allow them to move, yeah, they don't get as big. But a 3 to 5 pound chicken is A-okay for my oven. I don't know what you're complaining about. And they're delicious. So, enjoy the discount and enjoy the chicken. But you always get something. You always take a little bit of licks. That's the industry. That's life. And he's a good dude. I know he's just kind of busting my chops. And some people will, other farmers really comment on the size of the chicken, not customers. Customers don't even care. Give them a 2-pound Cornish hen, a couple of fours. Nobody gives a crap. You know what they say? Damn, that's some good chicken. They don't care about the size. So it's all about quality. And I hope other farmers in the area see this and start flipping some of their hay fields into friggin' chicken pasture, because that's where the money's at. Hay's great money too, don't get me wrong. I would say each of them require their own fair share of hard work. But right now we're using the land, renting the land, leasing the land, trading the land, whatever, up at Little Dipper Farm. We got to have those gals on the show. I like what they're doing up there. But this is a 300-year-old farm that finally got sold out of the family. And they're trying to keep it mostly a farm. They're doing some other stuff, and we'll have them on the show to talk about their projects, because I don't know them all. And so we're using about a 2-acre space this season to grow about 3,000 chickens. 2 acres. 2 acres. 2 acres, 3,000 chickens. Let that sink in. Now, we will have some mortality, so we won't hit 3,000. But we'll be in 2,000 range, well above 2,000, no problem. So it doesn't take a lot of land. You do have to move the chickens every day, keep the space clean, and let Mother Nature work that manure that they leave back into the soil. We're running all of our chickens in their elderberry patch, which has apparently done quite a bit for their elderberries that were in proximity to the first chicken tractors we brought up there. They're twice the size of all the other ones because they were fed some real fresh stuff. And the grass, where the chickens were, you can't even tell. You can't even tell that I ran chickens there, because the grass is back and thicker and lush and green and happy. So, we're getting something out of it, obviously, through being able to grow our chicken enterprise, and so are they, because their farm is looking better, their plants are acting better, and they got all this space. It might as well be farmed, and I know they feel that way, so that's cool. Little Dipper Farm, right up the road. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee here, wet the old whistle. You know what kind it is? Oh yeah, it's that Frank's blend. Shameless plug. Da-da-da-da. Guys, if you're anything like me, your day starts the same pretty much every day. You wake up, you drag yourself over to the coffee pot, and you begin to brew yourself that sweet elixir that's going to keep you going all day. Now, where we differ is what's in that coffee pot. We're not big fans of the big commercial coffee companies. The flavor's just not there. We're big fans of Two Dogs Coffee Company, and for the past 2 seasons, that's all we've been drinking. And I mean literally 2 seasons, 2 full years. Two Dogs Coffee is the only coffee that we brew. Artisanally roasted, fresh to order, and ethically sourced, Two Dogs Coffee is the only thing that we've been drinking here at the farm. This is not a paid advertisement, okay? I just like them over there. Brittany and Gwillem, they do great business, and they create such a good product. I can't put it down. I'm having some right now. I'm a big fan of their original Frank's blend. Brazilian and Colombian beans, and it's a medium roast. Hints of caramel, chocolate, some other stuff. It's coffee. Two Dogs Coffee. Get some. Oh, yeah. And shameless plug over. Okay, so chicken day went really well. The counts were good, the weight was good, everything went swimmingly. Got to meet a lot of new people that came out to volunteer their time. Not volunteer, we traded them some meat, of course. And of course, just we got through it. Those are busy days, super grueling. You wake up early. You want to go to bed as soon as you're done butchering because you've already done an 8-hour shift, but you can't because there's more to be done. It's a farm, of course. So that's that. First chicken day, Cinco de Mayo, and the 6th, and the 6th of de Mayo was good. Anyway, Moving on, spring update. What's in the ground? A lot. What do I have left to plant? A ton. Just kidding. Finally got our potatoes in. I'm about 3 weeks behind on where I want it to be. But you know what? It's good that I waited. It was wet 2 of those 3 weeks. Super wet. Inches and inches of rain. Potatoes, not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of the rain because they start to rot at a certain point. Would they have? Probably not. But why chance it, right? Plus, we were out of time. That part of the garden still had to be killed, we put the silage tarps over it to kill all the weeds. And about a week ago, I went to remove it, start working the soil, composting, wood chipping, blah, blah, blah. And the weeds had just sprouted. I said, I can't do this. I gotta wait a little bit more so these all get cooked. So that's what we did. They got cooked. We got that space worked, composted, and planted. Now I still have 40 pounds roughly of seed potatoes to put in. I already put in about 90 pounds. But now I got to put in my blue and my early reds, and yeah, I don't know where I'm going to get those in. I'm going to get them in somewhere. I still got a bunch of onions to plant, even though I've put in a couple thousand. We started more, of course, from seed. We got carrots up, radishes up, beets up, both colors, yellow and red. Turnips, of course, large leaf kale, arugula, romaine, spinach. Tomatoes are getting planted in the market garden, hopefully today, tomorrow. There's just so much going on. What do I still have? Oh, cucumbers I got to get going. Yeah, watermelons. It's May 15th. Got to get on this shit. We're trying. Had a few setbacks. Got a lot going on. And this weekend, segue, that's a spring update. Blah, blah, blah. Segue into opening weekend, this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be a great, great event. We're working on getting a temporary permit so we can make our own food. We're going to have Daigle Farm pork sliders from our farm. It's going to be good. We've got about 10 vendors coming each day to set up and sell their goods. It's going to be fun. Last year, the vendors did great. And it's so crazy. Once you post, like, hey, looking for vendors, I think we had like 50, 60 people reach out. Cassidy handled all that. But, man, we were bombarded. And, you know, you got to kind of sort through who's a huckster and who's got something to sell. You know what I mean? We get to regulate that. It's our name, too. You know, we don't want to be known as the place that's got people selling garbage. You know what I'm saying? And by and large, that's not what it is. That's not who reaches out. But this year we got a pottery lady coming. That's going to be cool. Can't wait to see what she's got. I hope she makes those pottery egg trays because our clientele would love those. I saw those the other day online and said, yep, those that sell. Those that sell. So craft fair. I don't know all the vendors. Pottery, soap. I'm sure there's someone selling customized clothing, knitted stuff. Let me think here. Wood creations. I don't know. Cassidy handled all that. I'm handling security and traffic detail. And we're both kind of wrapped around the food situation. So we split it up pretty good. I want to say thank you in advance to the people that have volunteered their time to come out and help us. A couple of Cassidy's cousins, a couple of our neighbors' family, neighbors' cousins, and of course Gavin, our farmhand. He doesn't really have a choice. If he wants to work, that's what we're doing those 2 days. Not a lot of farm projects going on Saturday and Sunday. The farm project is the craft fair. And as the business grows, and if there's any small business owners out there, you can probably attest to this. As the business goes, there's more stress that comes with exposure. And by exposure, I mean not just liability, but like people knowing you and knowing where you are and your reach and all that stuff. I just don't want to have any, issues. We have a long driveway. It's one way in, one way out. So what we do is we station people throughout the driveway walkie-talkie so they can communicate with each other when there's people coming in, when there's people going out. And then they can signal to the clientele that are coming in, like, hey, pull over, we got someone coming out or 5 coming out, whatever. Last year worked out really good that way. So fingers crossed for this weekend. We also have some EMTs that are going to be on site. Not that it's required. Well, it might be if I ever pulled a permit, but Jesus, a permit to have a personal private event. Come on my own land. No, it's crazy talk. So we're going to do our best to keep everybody safe, keep everybody happy, and make sure that the event goes smoothly. Last year was great. We had one guy who was just driving like a maniac on the driveway, and no matter what our staff told him, he would just not listen, and he felt like he had the authority to ignore them because he was a vendor, which meant two things. One, kind of a jerk, and two, you're not going to be a vendor this year because we asked you to just drive like a normal person, and you decided that you just weren't gonna. So good luck at your future craft fairs. I know you're still in the circuit, so good luck, sir. I do wish you the best. So craft fair's coming up. I'm going to be running the stand. Cass is going to be running the food with Chef Kim. It's going to be good. If you want to see me, come into the stand. We're going to have some fresh baked goods, all of our fresh veggies that are available, fresh chicken, some local beef, some of our pork. It's going to be great. Dairy. We're going to have some dairy from Woodstock Creamery. Of course, we love those guys up there. Angela. Shout out to Angela. Keep making the goods. Angela and staff. I don't know all the staff names. I probably shouldn't name them, but thanks to everybody. And, last year we did have Two Dogs come. And, shout out to Two Dogs, as you heard in the ad. Love those guys. Love the product. But I didn't reach out this year. And, guys, don't take it personally. Brittany and Gwillem, it's not about you. I just felt like you had a lot going on. And quite frankly, we have a lot going on, so it kind of slipped my mind. I said, we'll have Hosmer Soda, which is a local soda company. It's been around forever. We'll have the little flavored milks from Woodstock Creamery, so we'll have beverage covered. So don't be offended. We'd love to have you there, and if you hear this before and you want to come, hey, swing on through. But I know you guys have a lot going on. You guys do markets, you do all your own stuff, so. But last year you were there and it was good and blah, blah, blah. So the craft fair is coming up. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it being over. Because then the craft fair basically kicks off the stand being open for the season. So I can't tell you, we've had quite a few people reach out and be like, hey, when's the stand opening? Thought the stand was open. Stand was open this time last year. And that is true. We had to postpone opening by about 3 weeks this year in order to make sure we had product. Season was a little wonky this spring, and with the amount of clientele we have, the stuff we did have for sale has just been selling. The stuff I grew to sell early stand months is selling, so I've had to grow some more. These are good problems to have. I'm just explaining. So, and we just got in. I wish I had one here. Not that I have a camera, but we just got in some brand new Daigle Farm beer koozies that say Daigle Farm, support local, and simply drinking beer. Of course, a little tagline, catchphrase, simply growing food, as we like to say here. So you'll be able to pick those up in the stand and on the menu. We'll probably have them on the menu on the website. And we also got in some fresh Daigle Farm merch. Brand new t-shirts. It's going to be good. They're very nice. We got like a wine purple and a turquoise green kind of deal going on, like a steel blue. I don't know. Very nice. Good colors. Good quality. Once they're gone, though, they're gone. We only got 30 shirts, so they're probably going to be gone by the end of the weekend. Think about it. Come on out. We want to see you. It's going to be at the farm. We're open at 10. The event doesn't start till 11. But the farm stand's open 10 to 4. The event lasts 11 to 3. I could be wrong about all that, but I do know we're open 10 to 4. All right, moving on. Craft fair, good. Chicken day, off the list. Spring update. Is there anything else going on? Oh, our first pullet pickups went well, thank God. That was over with. Had 135, 140 pullets leave that weekend. Happy to see them go. Of course, we had some new first-timers in the bunch, never had chickens, and we've had them reach out with some complications, as it happens. If you're gonna farm, you're basically playing God, and that's a responsibility that not a lot of people have ever felt. If you never had a pet, then you don't know. But chickens are less, and don't take this the wrong way, chicken lovers, but they're less than a pet in a lot of ways. They don't come in the house. You don't buy them specific. Well, some people, I guess, buy them treats and stuff. We give all ours scratch and, food from the fridge when it goes bad, or scraps from the garden. But I know people that'll buy specific treats for their chickens. It's a whole industry. Maybe we should start making chicken treats. Ayo. I'm going to write that one down. Right with, from carcass to cuts, we have the meat. Chicken treat. And a little update on our egg tracker. Now, this is something I'm trying to stay dedicated and committed to, keeping updated on every episode, because I find it fascinating how many eggs we produce. Right now, we're at 9,096 eggs that have gone through our POS system. That does not count the ones we eat, the ones we trade, and the ones that are cracked. The ones that are cracked don't get counted. Those ones go right to the dogs. And the ones we eat don't get counted, and the ones we trade don't get counted. So that breaks out to, 758 dozen eggs this season so far, from January to May. Not bad. Can't complain. Chickens are laying overtime. Oh, man, I'm tired. Sorry. Yawning, stretching, making all these weird noises. Here's another one. I'm going to sip some coffee. Man. After I kick the sugar in my coffee, I never look back. Sometimes if we go somewhere or we go to a family thing and Cass will make me a coffee and she'll put sugar in it, I'm like, the good old days. Now I use honey. But I got to say, my allergies have been nothing. So there's something to that, too. Honey's a double whammy. I was supposed to have a bee guy on last week, our friend Mark. He was going to drop off some bees, but the weather was so bad. We were dealing with Cass's appendix, and, things just have not lined up. So for the rest of the week, the stand's pretty much ready to go. We got a new upright freezer for opening day, nice commercial freezer, and a couple of refrigerators, a couple of commercial fridges. And rearranged the stand, cleaned the stand top to bottom, vacuumed, cleaned everything. And it's all restocked. We got, of course, Two Dogs Coffee in there. We've got A to Z apiary honey. We're going to have Cass's dog treats, fresh granola, Daigle bagels, sourdough bread, 2 flavors of sourdough bread, cookies, possibly some scones. And, of course, our sliders are going to be made on some homemade sourdough buns. It doesn't get much better than that. So if you're free this weekend, May 17th and 18th, come on out to Daigle Farm. We're going to have a good time. Can't guarantee we'll have the cooked food. It all hinges on a few things with the health department, what I'm waiting on to hear. But I'm feeling good about it. So that's where we're at. This is a quick episode, folks. It's about 5 in the morning, about to be 5 in the morning. I got to get going. I got to do some irrigation this morning. And I'm working on the parking lot. I'm trying to put up some guardrails so it's just a little safer, a little bit nicer looking in the parking lot. We just put in this big parking lot. Shout out to my dad for all the work he's done over the past few months helping us get ready for the season. Primarily, the help that he was providing was getting that parking lot where it needed to be, and he did a great job. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I don't know if I talked about asparagus last episode, but I've been picking it. Very good. The other day I sauteed something, I cut it all up, put it in a bowl, and Cassidy looked at it and she's like, "What are you doing with this?" I said, "I'm going to saute it with some carrots, some onions." She's like, "I don't know about that." I said, "I do." Came out great. Easy to cook. Super nutritious, too. I think asparagus is like a superfood. All right, I'm getting off topic. That's going to do it for this episode of the Simply Growing Food Podcast. We have a few guests coming up. Right now, again, it is hard to nail anybody down because of our schedule. It's not them. It's us. But we've got some good people lined up, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the content. I want to hear from you. If you just want to reach out, go to our website, www.simplygrowingfood.com. Stay in touch with us through there. You can also find us on Facebook by searching Simply Growing Food Podcast. Join the podcast page, become part of the family today, or find us on Facebook under Daigle Farm. Send us an email at simplygrowingfood@gmail.com. That's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys found this informational and informative. And if not, that's a damn shame. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for listening to the Simply Growing Food Podcast. If you liked it, please share us with a friend or a family member. We appreciate your support. And don't forget, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you want to hear us talk about. If you got questions about farming, if you got questions about what you're eating, please send it to us. You can send it to us at www.simplygrowingfood.com, or you can send us an email at simplygrowingfood@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Simply Growing Food Podcast, or just find us on Facebook under Daigle Farm. Give us a Google for Daigle Farm. You'll find us. We appreciate the support. Thanks for all of it.